Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danielle from White Tail Stitch Co, where we talk about everything knitting and crochet. And today I have an exciting video talking about all the tools and materials I use for my knitting projects. So everything from conceiving the project, like patterns, gauge swatches, yarn, all the way to finishing the project, like finishing tools, sewing needles, blocking, all of that goodness. So I, of course, as always, will leave all the links to the things I'm talking about in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. And let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the yarn, and for the yarn, of course, you want to decide firstly if you want to go the synthetic or the natural material route. So for myself, I've been leaning towards natural materials, so I'm talking about cotton, wool, bamboo, things like that. If you're going synthetic, you're talking more about acrylic maybe or polyester. So I just want to throw out some yarns that I like to use recently, especially in the warmer weather right now. I've got some cotton, bamboo, and wool. So the first one I want to talk about is from Premier Yarns. It's their Bamboo Fair yarn, which is a 60% bamboo and 40% cotton. There are 44 colors, and it's a lightweight yarn that is machine wash warm, and you can dry it flat. And it is 273 yards. And I'm planning on making some really soft and beautiful baby blankets with this, so stay tuned for that. I got it in a few colors. I got, I think like a sprout or the moss as like a green one. I got the spa color. This daffodil yellow looked really pretty. And then I think I also got one other one. I can't remember exactly which one, but yeah, very excited for that project. The next one I want to talk about is 100% cotton yarn. So this is one I've also used before and recommend. It's so fun to work with, very soft, and it is the Cotton Sprout Speckles. And if you've seen a previous video, I made a tank top in this yarn, and it was really nice to wear out and about. Which color did I use? There was like a camping color that's not here right now that I see. Maybe it's out of stock, but yeah, this 100% cotton, and there are 9 speckle colors, but if we go to the non-speckle page, there's 32 colors, so a lot more options there for just a flat color yarn. And you can machine wash this and also tumble dry, so that's really nice. It's cotton, so it's nice and durable, and it should, yeah, be really nice for summer as well. So that's the cotton one I've recommended. And then I've also been using this Stitch Please, which is 100% superwash extra fine merino wool, and this has been really nice to work with too. I am actually making, where is it? I'm making a sweater out of this one right now, so sweater progress peak. Yeah, this is really nice to work with, and it's a very affordable merino wool. So I think this will be really nice to wear, especially when it gets a little bit cooler. It is a lightweight yarn, and it is superwash, so you can machine wash it, but I will not be machine drying it personally. There's a lot of colors, again, 36 colors, so this is a nice soft wool option if you're looking for a natural wool to knit with. So if you are picking out some fresh yarn, of course you go ahead and buy that, but if you're using from your stash, you might be wondering what gauge your yarn is if you've lost the label, or if you want to compare it to yarns. So I've got some knitting gauge helper tools around here. I've got 2 examples. So this one is a wool gauge, so you can put the strand into the slots on this tool, and it can help you figure out what wraps per inch it is and what weight it is. And also it's got measurement for the gauge once you do a gauge swatch, and also the knitting needles if you've worn out your needles and you can't tell exactly what size they are. This can help with that as well, and of course just a nice measuring bit around the sides too. So this is a really nice multifunctional tool. And then this is a plastic version. Basically the same idea. You would wrap it around rather than putting it in the slot, so you could wrap it and figure out how many wraps per inch you've got on your yarn to figure out what weight it is. And again, the knitting needle holes to find the size of your needle as well. So those are the gauge tools that I recommend. Of course, you're also going to need knitting needles. So these are my absolute favorite knitting needles recently. I used to be a big proponent of the, what was it, the Clover Takami, the bamboo knitting needles by Clover. I love those. I swore by those. But right now, after I discovered Lantern Moon ebony needles, I've used nothing else. In fact, one of the projects currently on needles right now is using these circulars, and they're everywhere. Here's a finished needle by them that I've been loving. So here we have a bunch of their knitting needles that I highly recommend giving a try. So these are their single point needles. So you can see the beautiful wood, this ebony wood, and these are size 7, but they've got the full range of sizes that you would need. Here you can see them below. So straight needles, circulars, they've got all of the circulars as well. I've got the 16-inch, 24-inch, 32, 40, so yeah, they have everything. More circulars, and yeah, then this is the finishing needle I recommended as well. One small note about this, I did have one of the set of 3 had the loop pop out. I don't know if it wasn't glued sufficiently or just the torque of me using it did cause it to have issues, so I'm not including this particular finishing needle in my finishing needle recommendations later on, but it is beautiful craftsmanship, it is beautiful wood, and if that doesn't happen to you, I would recommend giving it a try just for the heck of it if you want to. It was really, really nice to work with until it broke, so just keep that in mind. I did have one small problem with it, but I have been using this set of 3 for a couple months now, and the other ones are doing just fine, so maybe it was also just a small defect in that one that I received, which is unfortunate. So yeah, those are my needle recommendations. And then if you're using a natural yarn, like a wool yarn, sometimes they come in hanks rather than in skeins, so they'll come, you have to put them onto a swift and wind them yourself into a ball. I think that's the technical term. Rather, they come looking like this, right? And so you can't easily knit from this, and so you'll have to put it onto your swift and then wind it into a nice usable ball that looks something more like this. So I use a umbrella swift, a wooden umbrella swift. That's just like this one. It might be this one, I can't remember exactly. I've gotten mine a long time ago, but basically you put your yarn over here, you expand it, and then you use it alongside a winder to wind it into your ball. So this is a nice one, and you just attach it to your table, and yeah, very easy to use. And this is the electric winder I've been using recently. It's not been a problem for me. Some people have mentioned they've had some issues with it turning off or on, or getting stuck, but I haven't had any issues with this one. And it's been so handy just to have it wind. Of course I monitor as it's winding, but yeah, very, very handy to getting my yarn wound up for working. And of course, you're going to be working from a pattern, so you probably have already a pattern in mind that you got from Ravelry or Etsy or somewhere else, maybe free from a website, but I wanted to also suggest some books and some stitch guides that I like to use. So this first one is one of my go-tos. It's the Vogueknitting Ultimate Knitting Book. So it is huge, packed full of everything you could think of needing for knitting, all of the stitches and reminders of how to do different techniques. They've got some examples here for casting on, binding off, right leaning, increases, things like that. This is a monster book. It is 352 pages, and I've never felt like I needed any other knitting guide. This thing is wonderful, and it's frequently on sale. So right now it's even on sale as of when I'm recording this video, from $40 to $22, roughly USD. So yeah, highly, highly recommend this book. Will always recommend this book. This is an awesome guide by Vogueknitting. And then I just threw in some other books that I found interesting. So this one is a Modern and Cozy Knit Blankets. So this one just seems like a nice thing to pick up for fall or winter when you're looking to make more blankets, get some inspiration. Just like a nice solid book. It's 45 pages, and it says it's got, how many patterns? 8 blanket patterns. So price per pattern is pretty solid compared to if you're buying the patterns individually. So there's that I want to suggest. And this one was just beautiful. So this is beanies inspired by the national parks, and there's 63 designs, and just look how gorgeous. I think this is, I don't know if that's like a buffalo or some bear, but the hat designs and the color work is so, so pretty. And of course, it's got a ton of different national parks. So if you're a national park fan, this is a really awesome option for hat designs. And yeah, I mean, just browsing through the photos, this looks like an awesome book. I've done some other national park inspired pattern hats, and they always turn out so pretty, and you can't wait to wear them. So this is a really cool book. This is a big book too, 272 pages, I guess, because there's so many designs included. So this is an awesome beanie hat pattern. And then I also wanted to include this really beautiful mitten pattern. So this is 20 patterns of mittens, and also just again gorgeous color work and beautiful design options in this one too. So throwing in different options for some patterns, but of course, I mean, feel free to find your own for designs that you want to make. And finally, we are finishing our project, of course, right? So we need some finishing tools. So my go-to scissors are these thread snips, which I always have on hand. Actually, I've got like 3 of them throughout my house. I love them because not only are they great snips, but you can push this button and slide this up to protect the tip so that you can take them off for travel or throw it in your bag very easily and not worry about stabbing yourself or putting it in a separate little sheath. It's just all on the one scissor. So I love these, and these are my go-to scissors. Highly, highly recommend these. They are a 5-inch, it says, and yeah, I've even taken them flying. Of course, check your local airport guidelines, things like that, before you take them. I would hate to have you lose your scissors on a flight. As an alternative, you can always bring something like nail clippers to cut your yarn. I do that sometimes too. And the final thing is some sewing. So I recommend these large eye blunt needles. So depending, of course, on what your yarn is, this comes in a variety of sizes, which is super nice, and a little carrying case as well. So again, good for travel. Just something to thread your yarn onto and just finish your project in and sew in those ends. So of course you need some needle for that too. And finally, depending on your project, you may need to block it. So you'll need a gentle detergent or some kind of wool wash if you're using a wool yarn, just a bin and some towels to squeeze it out and also to block it. So I also have these blocking mats. So you can lay out your project. They are, you can construct them into any kind of grid that you want to make for your project size. And just pin it in place or even just leave it on the boards. So highly recommend a easy blocking mat for blocking your projects as well. Great, so I think that's all of the knitting tools that I recommend. Let me know if I missed any down in the comments. I'm sure there's something else that you can recommend or any other tools that you find helpful. Please feel free to leave that below and help each other out as well. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. I do knit and crochet videos like this one, recommendations, tools, patterns, just vlogs, anything of that sort. So I would love if you would stick around, and have a great day.